So what we need to do, Janice, is put two marks on a table 116 millimeters apart. Then we need to take an incline motor, push together to push out all of the play in the shaft, and then put a block at the end of the tube and slide the actuator around until it touches the block right at this line right here. Then go ahead and clamp it down. At that point, we want to measure the resistance between the orange and the brown wires at the connector, and you'll get some number. The exact value doesn't matter. Just write that number down on a list as the starting point. That'll be our starting point resistance, and then plug the connector into the box that Tom sent over there for moving the incline actuator, and then hold on to the tube and run the treadmill incline up until the block moves exactly to this line, and then stop it. And get as close as you can by eyeball. It's not necessary to be exactly precise, but just I'll show you. But you have to hold the tube with your hand so the tube doesn't spin. And don't go too far and come back. Just keep going forward and then stop. And then we'll disconnect the box and take another measurement between orange and brown. $745 right now. Then write that down on your list as the finish point, and then we subtract those two, and you'll get around 500 about on these ones that are bad. You'll get around 500 ohms difference, and that's a bad one. The good ones that I found in earlier production machines will have a ohm difference of almost 600 ohms, 580, about 580 ohms difference from the start to the finish is going to be a good one. The bad ones are going to be just barely 500 ohms difference. So that is how we can sort on the line. So then after you finish this measurement, plug it back into the box. And hold on to the tube and retract it. Retract it almost until the tube touches the housing of the gear motor. We're going to set it back to the initial starting point, and keep pushing on the tube while you're closing it up. So then we put the block here, and we extend it to where it just comes even with the line. Okay, that's good. If the measurements, well, this sets it up so that we can run it on the assembly line. If it's a good one, you can put it back in the box and it'll be ready to set the pin-to-pin dimension with the gauge. And it'll be right on the limit switch, 0 incline limit switch. So that's how we're going to have to sort these out. There's no way to look at the gear motor and know if it's good or bad. We have to measure the pot resistance. So a bad one will be about 500 ohms difference when it moves 116 millimeters. A bad one will be about 500 ohms difference. A good one will be almost 600 ohms difference, around 580, 575, around almost 600. So that will be a good one. We're looking to save all of these and reject all of these that run around 490 to 500. Those are rejects. And I'm going to present this study to MSI as well. That's it.